whenever a new technology comes along, a company will come along to exploit it. So we've had social media on the internet, we've had publishing, we've had radio broadcasts trying to spam or manipulate people. The phone system, of course, was extensively used for spam. But now we have this situation with also no capacity limit. Because
no capacity limit? What do you
because
mean?
a person isn't required in the loop anymore. No one has to write the scams. No one has to approve the scams. No one has to write the memes. If you can generate one, you can generate 1 million. And earlier this month, we actually saw this was a report from Anthropic, actually. So we've seen the first time that Claude conducted a whole hacking operation and extortion all on its own.
Wow.
So Claude hacked into the server.
Wait, what do you mean on its own?
So Claude hacked into the server. Claude chose which files on the server were valuable. Claude exfiltrated them back to the hacking computer. Then Claude wrote the ransom notes. Claude decided how valuable each file was and how much the ransom should be.
Assigned
Claude
numbers?
sent out the ransom emails.
To who? To
the victim, the company whose data had been encrypted. So the company that they were hacking into.
A company?
Yes, stole the data. Claude decided which files to steal. Claude made the decisions about how to move around in the
someone
network and do the hacking.
Someone jailbroke Claude. It was a jailbreak.
No. Someone asked Claude, "Can you please hack into this company?"
Are you kidding me?
So Anthropic discovered this. They did a full investigation. They published a report. The report's very interesting to read.
Wow.
And then they banned the account.
I'm going to read that.
So that was their response, to ban the account.
Jesus Christ.
They did actually.
The guy that did it,
they added another classifier to try to detect activity like this in the future. But we know how classifiers work. You just change something slightly and it won't fire off. So rather than ensuring that they build a product with which it is very hard to conduct large-scale hacking operations, they've built a product where you can, and they've put out a report demonstrating these capabilities. So it's a really dangerous situation to have manipulation and the lack of capacity limit. And when we add to that the addictiveness, the idea that AI is really good at making things that addict all sorts of parts of our brains, I think there is definitely a case for that. This is qualitatively, not just quantitatively different. This is actually something very different. And we can compare it to, for example, fast food.
Yeah.
That changed society. Or, for example, the introduction of the car.
Wow. It's categorically different. Yeah. Oh my God, man. It's all over the place. It's like
and I can't imagine what it must be like growing up at the moment, being 15 at the moment, not knowing what your personality is yet, and having all these from all sides.
Because the internet, because the internet opened different kinds of windows and accessibility.
The internet allowed people to talk to each other.
Exactly, but still was people, right? Still was people.
It was always people.
Of course, people to scam each other and do cybercrime and all that.
Pretend to be dogs and so on. But
yeah,
it was always.
But it's always someone pretending to. It's not a.
On the internet, no one knows you're a dog.
A model pretending now and hacking people, manipulating people, and wow, and it's happening so fast. So do you think it would be wise to instruct kids on this, like to understand these use cases?
That if we teach kids about ChatGPT, it won't exist in that form in a few years.
No, but I mean the dangers of using these models, like it exists today. So if a kid gets access to a computer, the kid's going to start prompting. So
I read someone's experience the other day. He's a software engineer, I think. And he decided to try out ChatGPT with his kid. His kid is really into space. So he used the version where you can talk to ChatGPT and it talks back to you. Ooh. His kid had a conversation with it for about an hour. And the kid... And the
dad analyzed it.
ChatGPT was pretending to be an astronaut. And the kid was talking to what the kid thought was an astronaut on the International Space Station.
Okay.
And the father actually got really concerned because he could tell that after an hour of this, the kid really believed that he was really talking to an astronaut on the ISS.
There we go.
And so he felt that the responsible thing to do was to explain that this is just the computer. You're just talking to the computer. And the kid was really upset. He was really disappointed.
He was upset and disappointed.
So when we're that young, We don't have the
Can't
ability
really-
to
yeah.
tell what's real or not.
So the burden of responsibility lies in the parents.
Certainly.
Okay.
And AI could be very good for kids in some ways.
Okay.
You can imagine, for example, if to say they really, really like bird watching or something,
So-
then they can talk about the
Yeah.
that with the AI.
You know what I did? There's I don't know how to call it. It's not a plugin. It's like an app within ChatGPT that produces coloring books. You know, so I produced a few coloring books for Emma, and then I printed them out and we colored them together.
Yes, there are many, many completely harmless and useful uses. And they often just involve doing something that you could already, like go out to the shop and buy a coloring book, but just faster or in a more personalized
custom,
way.
personalized way.
You can have Lara in there to color.
Yeah. So you know, one thing I'm doing with ChatGPT, I'm writing some ciphers, some codes, and it's kind of a strange thing I'm doing online. I just, I write a phrase, and then I cipher it like A is 1, B is 2, C is 3.
I did exactly the same thing as a kid.
You've
we'd
done
write
that?
messages to each other.
And I've started sending messages because ChatGPT is really good at just, hashing those out, producing it. And then I do it backwards, and I'm starting to play with that. And I think because when I produce those, I'm thinking like, okay, someone is going to look at this video and going to say, what the hell is this? And they're going to have to figure it out like a challenge, So I'm trying to insert friction into maybe we should do something like this, but the algorithm won't recommend it as much as frictionless content.
So in the old days, I'd get, say, a coded message from my friend, and you'd actually have to sit down and work to decode it.
There we go.
And I remember actually I was very young. I was maybe 6 or something. And I got one of these, and my dad applied the frequency analysis technique. So it's really simple. It's just the letter that's most common. It's probably E, and the next one's probably T, and so on. And so you write out this guess, and you can guess what some of the words might be. So it's a very simple version of what Alan Turing was doing in World War II. And I was completely blown away by this as a 6-year-old. So you've managed to decode the message. I was completely incapable of understanding frequency analysis, I think, at 6.
I've never understood. I mean, I've never heard about frequency analysis.
It's really simple. You've got this page of code with all the random letters, and you see there's lots and lots of X's in there. So X is probably E. And the next most common one is probably T. So you can write that out, and you see, that's probably at. And so the next word is maybe at school or something.
So out of the 26 letters, there's some much more used.
Yeah, so it's E, T, A, O, N, I, S, and so on.
Those are the most used letters.
This comes up in natural language processing and computational linguistics as well.
In any language?
In any language, there's a different list for that language.
Okay.
Yeah.
Different probability for a different language.
This was a real learning moment for me, because before I'd had to work to decode these things and couldn't do it, and then suddenly I had this method that you could approach.
So wait, some codes.
I worry that if this happened to me, if I was 6 years old now, then I would just ask Claude. Claude would decode it for me, and then I wouldn't learn anything.
Yeah, and that's what I've been noticing. People are. I code a message, I say it out loud, and then some people figure it out. And I suspect they're using ChatGPT too.
Why not? Why would you?
Why not? Why would they use their brains?
The only reason why you wouldn't is if you're making a complete effort not to use AI.
Yeah.
That might be something that some people might do in the future. We might even kind of diverge into 2 separate species, one that uses AI for everything and has an AI chip wired into the brain, and one that refuses to.
Okay, wow. That's deep. That's deep. Of course, they're going to be expensive, the AI chips, I guess. So many people won't be able to buy them.
Inequality and energy costs. Yeah, so already we're in a situation where
we
don't have enough power to offer ChatGPT to everyone in the world. So it's already intrinsically unfair.
Yeah. And of course, computers. Who has a computer these days? We could say most people, but what does that actually mean? Out of the 8 billion,
a really powerful computer in our pocket somewhere. We just still call it a phone, even though it's really
it's a computer.
This is the one thing that we never use them for anymore. We hardly ever actually call anyone.
Yeah, but for example, in areas of high poverty, there's not a lot of computers or phones.
Yeah,
I suppose some, very basic elemental, but then internet, that would be a different level. Then AI, and then once they get into those hands, they're going to be products. So the product is going to use the user
And this is where we have to really worry, because
to extract data.
you and I are very lucky in that we've
Yes, we
received
are.
an education and we know how to think critically. And this isn't something that comes for free.
No.
And we don't have the ability to think critically because we have a high IQ or anything.
No,
It's
we
simply
got
because
lucky. Yeah, we got
lots of
training.
really helpful and clever instructors have taught us how to think critically.
Yeah.
And so if you haven't been through those 15 years of education,
Yeah.
you will be more likely to be manipulated, and you won't have the faculties and the training you need to go, you're trying to manipulate me. That's obviously a fake claim. You won't do that if I vote for you.
Yeah.
And so this is where
Ideas.
it's really dangerous when we get this crossover between all this enormous AI machinery that has its own agenda, usually to extract money from the user in some way, and all these people who don't have as much critical thinking as they should.